Today I'm working on this Toro riding mower. Started working on engines and lawn equipment about a year ago, just buying it, fixing it, reselling it. Started with, push mowers, snow blowers, weed whackers. Still got a little bit of stuff left. But I've gotten rid of a lot. And I decided that I wanted to start looking at some bigger projects too. And this came up on Marketplace for 180 bucks because it's leaking fuel pretty quick. When I was there looking at it, I decided that it's probably just coming out of the bowl, so I can probably just replace that seal, or worst comes to worst, I get a new carb for 30 bucks. Right now I got the line clamped off, but later I'll take it off and show you guys the leak. It also does not come with a battery, but I know that it runs and it drives and the PTO kicks on, because we took the battery out of the guy's new mower that he bought and tested it out and drove it up on the trailer and all that. So tonight picked up this battery from Fleet Farm and the cable bolts. So first things first, we're gonna get that put in here, drive it over to the shop and start working on the fuel system. I wanna take this cap off right here, and then we'll put positive end on the far side right here. Perfect, fits like a glove. And let's get this put on. These are pretty rusty and dirty, so let's clean these up a little bit. All right, so we got our WD-40 and wire brush. Let's just spray a little bit of WD-40 on there. Corrode the rust a little bit. Hit it with the wire brush a little bit. Let's grab a paper towel and wipe it up a little. I think that's as good as we're gonna get it. Let's blast the other one, see if we can get any improvement. It's good enough. I don't think we're gonna get much better. Let's get the WD-40 out of here. Wipe this up a little bit. It's not really doing anything. All right, let's pop these cables on. So first, we'll put the positive terminal on, but got a little problem. The cables don't want to come out there. Battery seems to be holding it. Yeah, a little bit. All right, let's get this hooked up. It's looking like my bolts are too big. Oh man, does that suck. They're just a little bit too much. Well, I'll go look in the shop and see if I can find something. Unfortunately, I could not find any bolts, so I'm gonna have to make a run to Fleet Farm in the morning and look for different ones. But for now, it's our temporary fix to get it over to the shop and just get it running so that we can see the leak. Is we're gonna just run jumper cables from the battery to our mower. Should go all right. Don't see why anything would go wrong. We'll hook this one up positive. This is one negative. Okay, sweet, we got power. We'll get this folded down, set up. This should get us over to the garage. As you can see, we got power, got the lights on. We'll take this off so we're getting gas. Should start leaking pretty shortly, at least when I start it. Alright, let's see. She's cranking. Oh, now she's deciding not to. She leaking yet? No. Well, when I went and got it, we had to give it a shot of starter. So we'll try that again. We'll get this air filter housing off. Air filter is not the best, so definitely replace that before we sell it. All right. Well, ran pretty good, and I'm still not seeing a leak. It happened yesterday when I picked it up, especially when we killed the mower, and it was dripping pretty hard down on the trailer deck. Huh. That's weird. Maybe I got a perfectly good mower on accident. All I needed was a battery. So let's take that air filter box off just to see better what's going on. All right, so we're gonna take this air filter housing off the mower now so we can see the carburetor better. It's two 10mm bolts right here, and it should just slide right off. So we'll take those off. It's still connected by something, not coming off. I wonder if it's this star bit right here. Loosen this up a bit. And that wasn't it. We'll tighten her back up. Just not wanting to pull. There's no more nuts left. Should just come off. I don't really feel anything behind it. There we go. Not sure what that was. Must have just been a clip. Huh. Oh. Well, now we can see the carb, and it doesn't really seem to be leaking at all, which is weird, because I saw it leaking yesterday, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, it could be nothing, and I just got away with a sweet mower. What we're gonna do is put a little bit more gas in it because it's low, so I might just not have enough to be filling the carb up. Should be plenty. So our next step is I'm gonna start it up and I don't know, maybe just run it for a while, see if it leaks then, but I'm confused right now. And put the parking brake on. Perfect. And still nothing. We are smoking though from the carb. Yep, there's the leak. Okay. Yeah, that's leaking good. So we're gonna clamp that gas line off again. That's leaking really good. There's our leak. Feels like it's coming right out of this bottom screw. So I mean, that seal on the jet could even just be bad. So let's take this thing off and take a look. I'm gonna take this fuel line, clip off right there, pull off our fuel line. Let the rest of that gas out into the bowl. So we getting gas through this clamp still. So what we'll do is we'll put it upwards so it can't leak anywhere. Just tuck it up in there. Next, we'll slide this off slowly. Those throttle cables aren't gonna let us. Oh, there we go. All right, so then just manipulate the cables out. Easy. And I just realized we're leaking gas like crazy still. It's annoying. Gas is still getting out the line. Long clip this and try and snake it up higher. Let gravity do its thing. And we'll pull this little green wire. Man, that is covered in crud. We'll just take that bolt off with, looks like a 10mm. Oh, never mind. Never mind, we don't want to do that. That whole assembly is going to come off then. Never mind, to get that wire off, there's a star bit down there. So we'll quick loosen that up. Need a smaller one, T25 probably. Oh, T20. That's what we'll try next. And it's a 15. Slid right out. Now, for this solenoid on the bottom here, not exactly sure how that comes off yet. So after looking at this, I have realized that it's just an open-end wrench onto this, right onto that, onto this solenoid right here. So we'll just pop this on there, 13mm, crack it, unscrew it. That comes off right here. Here's our carb. And this gasket, the seal is just shot. As you can see, it's ripped. It's not on there very good, and it's quite corroded. So what I'll end up doing is probably just purchasing a new carb, because it's gonna be tough to find that seal by itself, and might as well just throw a new carb on there. So why not? And then this to me looks fishy. This looks like somebody came in here and wired this before me. As you can see right here, we got this. This looks like something that's more OEM and would hook up to a solenoid like this, because I mean, this thing just won't come off. I think it's just, I think how it came was this wire right here, just attached in here, one piece, and then they just, you know, heat gunned it with shrink wrap and got this going. So tonight I'm gonna go and look at some parts diagrams and see how it all looks, figure out what goes on from factory, and we'll take steps from there. We got our new carb, fuel cell, and our new wiring and gaskets today. They shipped in, so we're gonna get these thrown on there. First thing we're gonna do is take this off. This, I don't know, somebody did this to get around whatever was going on, instead of just ordering the new thing. So we have to take this bolt out right here. And take this wiring off. Drop the washer. We'll get our new wiring the way it's supposed, you know, the way it's supposed to be, not jerry-rigged. And get this thrown on there. Torque it down with our 8mm ratchet. Let's grab an extension to make this easier. Got the extension thrown on there. Get this torqued down. get the throttle body gasket right here. Throw it on the bolts. So we'll get the throttle and choke hooked up. Throttle right on here. Choke right here. Make sure you get the spring on there too. Then we'll put it on our bolts. Spring came off. Alright, we'll get this plugged in to our fuel solenoid. I think we gotta flip it around. Yep, here we go. I'm gonna hook these up, but that's a problem. These look like the exact same. So this was clearly messed with. Looks similar. Maybe this pulls off. Oh, there we go. Alright. Throw this in there. Get our choke gasket on there. And then before we put the air filter box back on, we'll just bolt it back on like this and see if she starts and runs. And see if we need to make any adjustments. Hand tight should be good for how long we're doing it. Put our fuel line back on. Clamp it. Alright. So it was a real struggle to find more battery bolts. I looked at Fleet Farm, couldn't find any smaller. Went to O'Reilly's, they didn't have anything. I went to auto parts store in town, Auto Value, and I got these little 5mm. The only problem is they're a little small. So as you can see, that's a lot of wiggle room. So I've decided I'm gonna use the old ones that I picked up right away and just drill out the battery cables a little bit with this. So we're gonna do that. Alright, so let's drill these out a little bit bigger. Hope those bolts will fit. We're gonna try drilling again with it locked up like this. I think we got through there. Perfect. All right, let's get the positive cable now. Perfect. Let's see if our bolts fit now. Still a little small. All right, let's go a little bit bigger. Now we got 5/16 in here. And it broke. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, so now we're gonna have to rewire some ourselves. Well, since that didn't work, we're gonna do the old jumper cables tonight, and tomorrow we're gonna have to get ourselves, I don't know, hopefully they got the battery cables like that readily accessible at the stores, but who knows. I might as well just replace them both because I'm not going to be able to drill it out big enough anyway. So I'll get ones that are big enough and just replace them both. Well, let's try a little bit of starter fluid. I was hoping that it would fire right up, but it's never how it goes. I had a starter, so we'll just use a little parts cleaner. It should go. Huh. Should be enough to activate the safety switch. First gonna unhook it. Save it myself. Wanted to go right there. I guess it needs a battery to run. I was surging pretty hard. Oh, I was surging because I had the throttle way down. Give it a little more help. Better shut her down, otherwise I'll gas myself out because I got the garage door closed. It's a little chilly outside when I'm gonna have to open it up, but seems to be running pretty good. Well, with the carb that I ordered, I got, you know, my fuel filter, or oil filter. I got a fuel filter, fuel shut off, spark plug, air filter, got a fuel pump. So first thing we'll do is throw our air filter box and air filters back in. Depending, we'll do all the stuff. Maybe not the fuel pump because I don't know how involved that's gonna be. As I was saying, I'm sure the fuel pump on there is pretty good. So we don't need to replace it if it's too difficult. But we'll get these 10mm nuts off and get the box thrown back on. Hopefully it'll start without starter fluid now. Our governor spring came off, so we'll get that thrown in again. As I was looking over the video before, a lot of the frames had my knee in it, so that isn't great. Couldn't really see very much, and I can't really go back and redo it, so we're learning from our mistakes, getting a better angle, and hopefully in the future I can figure out a better setup than what I got to record better videos. But for now, we're rolling with what we got. So, gotta make it work. Gotta get this hose back into this little hole. It wants to. It doesn't want to get in there. There we go. Probably the 8mm. Got the 8mm on here. Perfect. Loosen this up a little bit. See if it'll slide in there now. Yeah, there we go. Get our 10mm nuts back on here. All right. Get our air filters thrown in here. Actually, I'll just be done with it. Like this. No. See what's on. This on. This. So. Try it. Like this. Nothing left on here. Stuff in here there. Water. I'll go like this. We got that air filter box on. So let's get this engine cover taken off so we can access the spark plug and probably get the fuel line changed and the fuel pump and all that good stuff. So it's 8mm bolts all the way around. So let's get it taken off. Alright, now that we got that off, we can see the plug is right here. We'll take the boot off, get that swapped out. I need the smaller one.
We're also gonna throw the extension on here, make our life a little easier. As you can see, looks pretty good, but you know, might as well swap a new one in there since we already got it out. And it's probably never had one before. There we go. Get that boot back on there. Go ahead and see where our fuel pump is. If it's hard to access, I'm just gonna leave it because it's working. Oh, it seems like it's back up in here. Back up in here because the fuel line snakes back here. Yes, we'll leave that alone. It doesn't need it. Just kind of try just using my hand as a choke and see if it's just not choked. That's our problem. It's just not choking enough to get a rich enough fuel mixture in there. So this choke paddle doesn't choke anymore than that. So I don't know. Let's see if it goes now. Gotta hook this, jump the cables back up. I don't really know what to do with that, so we're gonna try and do some research and see. So I was looking at this choke paddle here, and I realized that it just got pushed in a little bit too far, so it couldn't close all the way. So it's like this, so it couldn't close all the way, right? So I pulled it out a little bit, and now it can close. So now we'll pull this all the way up, turning on our choke. And that's definitely an improvement. If that's not enough, I'm pretty sure we can tighten this screw up and it'll make the choke go on farther. We'll try giving this a start. let's try tightening this up a little bit. Yeah, see, you can see that paddle turning. Let's try it now. Keep going. We'll do it until it's all the way closed. A couple more cranks should do the trick. Perfect. You bring the choke down. Wonderful. All right, let's try this now. All right, well now it can start up under its own power. So we got improvement, but it seems to be surging a little bit. So we're gonna have to take a look into that. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Because we got a brand new carb on there. This fuel line looks good. I'm gonna start it up and run it for a little bit and see if I can diagnose it. All right, so I found where the throttle should be. We're running good. I'll show you guys what I did. But first, when we got it warm, we're gonna get the oil draining. Drain plug is right here. Hopefully, it'll be able to catch in this pan. Maybe I'll turn the wheel like this. Yeah, now we'll get a little more room. Should be coming out. There we go. And that's gonna be a mess. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Let's get the plug back in there. Get reorganized. Okay. So yeah, so a lot of oil on the ground. Let's see if it'll come out of here now. Yeah, it's not. I have to push this. Oh, it's hot. Yeah, we got it draining. I think the concrete's taking more oil in the pan. Whoops. All right, now we're gonna get this oil filter off and pop the new one on and then fill it up with oil. We'll get the drain pan underneath. Actually, we'll do that next because we don't want to accidentally nick it and have another oil mess. Jesus. This thing don't want to come off. Man, what is up with this? I mean, I've crushed the thing. Probably the other wrench here, but yeah, it's too big. Oh my God, we cracked it. We got oil leaking out. What? Oh, just got oil on myself. Why is this not coming off? With some manpower and a mallet, we were able to get our oil filter off. I'll show you it. I threw it away right away because it was pretty bad. And yeah, here it is. I mean, it's broken. I don't really know, it might have been cross-threaded. Something wasn't right. We're gonna get our new one on there and hope we're clear of issues. So we'll get some of our old oil, get a little bit on our finger, get it on our seal. What?
Are these new tires?
Yeah, I just got them.
Were your tires actually bald?
The rear ones, yeah.
Like there was no like design on it?
What?
There was no design on it?
Yeah. All right, we'll screw it on. Get our oil wrench. All right, give this just a slight crank, not too much. Okay. Just a little crank. That should be plenty. Now we'll get her filled up with oil. All right, let's pour our oil in here. Let's get this out of here. And this seems to kind of be design flaw after design flaw. All right, we'll give it a quick check. Oh, yeah, there it is. I think we got it on the money. Just a tad bit more. Should be good.
Perfect, right in the middle of the fill level. Get this in there. We'll get our engine cover put back on here. Okay, grab our bolts, we'll drive these in. We gave this thing a nice wash. Now we'll get our air filter box thrown back on. We'll take our 10mm ratchet and get these nuts off the carb here. Alright, we'll loosen this up to get our air filter. We need our box right here. Hopefully it's enough threads to get our nut on there. Come on. Oh, sweet. Get our hose in that little hole. Perfect. Get our 10mm ratchet again and tighten these up. Alright. Now we'll get our air filter on. Our foam block up in here. Alright, next step will be taking a look at those battery cables that I accidentally drilled out. So taking a look at this here, I can see that our negative cable goes back and connects right here to this bolt, that 10mm right there. And then the red cable, positive cable, goes down right there underneath those white little plugs. So we're just gonna order those tonight instead of taking them off right now, and we'll figure out a game plan once the parts come. So our next step is gonna be to jack this thing up and take a look at the blades. So we're gonna put it right there on the edge, on the frame, so that we're, lifting onto a strong point and not something like the exhaust shield right there. So we'll get this up to a nice height. Should be good. Now we're gonna go look under there and get those blades taken off. They don't look horrible. Hopefully they're just in balance. So I'll get those taken off here and get them up to see if they're good. We got our blades off and they're kind of rough. I mean, this edge is destroyed. I took the angle grinder a little bit and you just can't even put an edge down because this thing's so buggered up. I mean, this side's all right, but we still got that pretty big chunk out the side there. This one looks completely like there's a bunch of metal missing right there, like somebody sharpened it too much. And this is just rough. And that's good. I mean, that's gonna be hard to bring back. So we're just gonna run to Fleet Farm and hope that they got them there. All right, we're getting these new battery cables thrown on. I decided to just rewire the new ones. We got Jake here with us today. All right, so first thing we'll do is cut the wire, the old one. All right, now we'll strip our wire, get our new one set on. There we go. All right, get our second one on. All right, see if that works. Sweet, it did. All right, we'll get our battery tossed in. Get our positive on there. Now our negative. All right, we'll get this cranked down. It's good. All right, we got Jake putting the blades on for us. Needs the impact. Got to crawl under the ramps. Dad took the floor jack for the weekend going up to the cottage. So that's going to be a challenge. That ain't upside down, is it? Yeah, it was.
Fuck, I forgot the bolts.
All right, I'll grab them.
Are we on camera?
Yeah. You gonna be able to impact that?
That's what I'm thinking. What the frick?
Oh boy. No chance.
Not at all.
All right, well, we'll come up with
Get
a
me a
solution.
wrench.
All right. The wrench working down there?
Yeah.
We got the blades all secure and tightened up. This project's done.
Jake's gonna roll her off the ramps and we'll get her posted on Marketplace.